Thank you all for being here and for partnering up with my office and my colleagues' offices for doing this extremely important briefing. When this law or this bill was introduced or passed around to my colleagues, a lot of folks don't know this, but about 40 of my colleagues signed on to this bill in support of this bill without any kind of knowledge or fully understanding the implications. And that seems to be what is happening when something like this, so very complex, is rushed through. And when I say 40, and we're talking close to half of my colleagues sign on to this in support of it without fully understanding the implications, the real implications on people's religious beliefs. And when some of my colleagues and I came out in opposing this for what it was a hateful bill. It was based on really about people's religious beliefs and stereotypes of people of Muslim faith. And I got some hateful emails, as I usually do. And as the only Muslim serving in the state legislature, I get all the very, very, again, hateful emails. And I try sometimes to respond, depending if there's it sounds like a violent person, I do not respond. But things like, oh, Rashida doesn't support opposing Sharia law because she wants everybody to speak Arabic, or she wants it just goes on and on about some hurtful things. It gets to the point where when I'm sitting in committee and I'm trying to do my job in supporting an amendment to a budget, I sometimes sit back, I'm trying to do, again, my job. I offer an amendment to support cultural integration programs that support people of different backgrounds when they first come into the country. I was taken aback when the chair of the committee jokingly asked for my birth certificate. And everybody in the audience gasped, and he was the only one laughing. But it's really scary that I'm in the Michigan House of Representatives and my colleague would jokingly make such a blatant regard, because I said something like, Chairman, I was born in this country. My family benefited from programs like this. And he says, can I see your birth certificate? And I mean, it was really at a point where I think in my life, I expected in certain times, depending on where my audience is, where I'm at, but I didn't expect it in the middle of a committee, a budget committee on human services programs. And so we live in a society where I think now things like that are acceptable, but it's extremely important, and I'm very proud of this panel and proud of the partnership that we have here, that we all get together and call out what this really is about. This is about promoting hate. This is about pushing stereotypes about people's different beliefs, and to really tell the truth about what the true implications are on something like this, what it really is. I love Representative Barnett, and she's going to be coming and joining us. She's one of my favorite colleagues to work with. The woman is a genius. And I remember when this happened, she goes, oh my God. She goes, this is going to, do you know what this means for people of Jewish faith? And she went on, and she was phenomenal. And I know when she gets here, you'll hear her version, but it was great because she saw this for what it was. Basically, implications on her religious beliefs. And it was wonderful as a Muslim and as a person of Jewish faith, we were able to get together and say this is extremely important to do. But I want to really thank Bob Constance, George Duraney, Harvey Santana, who always stands up for us, and my colleague Vicki for doing this. And I want to ask them to come up here and say a few words, if you may, please. Harvey, George, come on up.
George,
Bob, come on up.
I just want to say thank you all for coming and helping us address this important issue, educating the other representatives, senators, and everyone. Thank you.
I'm Representative George Duraney, and religious freedoms are very important to me in my life, and I come from a town of Dearborn, Michigan, where we've embraced religious freedoms for decades, and some people think it's just been a few days. I'm 100% Arab American myself, and I'm proud to say that. And I'm also proud of my community because in City Hall, and I'm Dearborn City Hall, we wave 60 flags from different countries that are in our City Hall building, and we're very proud of that. And we like to add flags to that. It seems almost like on a monthly basis, where new people are coming and moving into our city because they know about the diversity that we have in Dearborn and how we've opened our arms to everyone. And we like to see that everywhere. It's been a struggle, and it's always going to be a struggle, but it's something that we're very, very proud of in the city of Dearborn. And I also want to mention a couple other colleagues here that weren't mentioned earlier. Diane Slavens is here, and also Sean McMahon is in the back room also. And these are colleagues that we can count on, and we've worked with very closely for the last 11 months. And there's a lot more for us to do as far as members of the House of Representatives, but we're in this fight with you. We want you to know that, and we know that you can come to us with any concerns that you have and know that we're on your side. So we look to people like Rashida, who's been the godmother of this fight for years, and I lean on Rashida quite a bit because she's just a wealth of knowledge. I'm proud to serve the city of Dearborn. I'm proud to serve in the state representatives, and again, thank you for having us here today.
What can I say, really? Usually I have some interesting stories that I use to parallel to get to my ultimate point, and I'm almost at a loss, but I just had one, so I guess I'll tell it to you. We're in trouble. We really are. We're in a different world today. If you ever want to screw things up in a conversation, there's an old saying, talk about politics or religion. Now imagine being in that building across the street and having to discuss a bill like, the Sharia law bill. It gets very scary. And it got exceptionally scary for me when I literally had to pick up the phone and tell my wife, don't come home. Don't just go to Toys R Us, go somewhere, but whatever you do, don't come to the house. She says, why? What the hell's going on? I said, Sylvia, my street is full of government cars with tinted windows. I've got the Wayne County Sheriff down there because this Koran-burning preacher is at the mosque or wants to show up at the mosque, and people are angry. I've got helicopters above my house, and I said, oh my God, what have we come to in this society? No matter how long or how far we've come and we've progressed in this country, we're still Neanderthalic in the way that we think about people. When we can look at someone and right away the cogs in your head start going off, and you start generating opinions based on what a person looks like, what they say, how they greet each other. And I guess by the same token, I'm glad I live in Southeast Michigan. By the same token, I'm glad that I live in Detroit, because I can walk not too far and go get Arabic food. I can go back to my old neighborhood and eat Spanish food. I can go to Hamtramck, get Polish food. I can do whatever I want, see whoever I want, and go and just see different people at all times. And that to me is a value that I treasure very, very strongly. I just don't know if there's legislation that would require that of people. But what's odd is that there's legislation that people put out that prevents you from doing it. And it's just very oxymoronish, I guess is the term I would want to use in this situation. But I'm glad that we're all here. I'm glad that as opinion leaders, as thought leaders, as policymakers, that we have the time to break bread, talk, exchange information to see how we can better educate people who, for lack of a better term, just don't read stuff when they sign on to it. Don't understand what they're signing on to. One of the things that I've discovered is that a lot of us do that here, and it's just weird. It's strange because I thought our job was to read, analyze, and interpret the data and the stuff that comes in front of us. And when you actually do it or tell people, we got to take some time to do this, they get mad, they get upset. They don't want to dive into the facts or the details because it's too complicated and it complicates their life. But I'm glad that we have colleagues that do that. And so I think we'll get to a better point. Thank you.